on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We made it! We made it! We made it! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yap. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap.
It's embarrassing.
Yap.
Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them.
He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man.
You already make the big money.
He's a man.
Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there.
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
No, this game is not over. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3. I'm all in front of the marquee, so let me get that together right here. But anyway, hey, man, listen, it's been a week. Oh, it's been a week, been a good one. And it's about to get busier, man, about to get busier. So last night was at the media mixer for the men's Final Four. Got to see some great people. Got to see the mayor of the city, take a picture with him. Was hanging out with my guys, A.D. Moore and Lemont Williams. Got a chance to hang out with him. Yeah, I know y'all don't know some of those names, but it's cool. It's cool. Chris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, was in the house. So it is happening down here in Houston, but I am on my way out of here, getting ready to head up to Dallas and get ready for the women's Final Four matchups tonight. Of course, the early game is going to be LSU versus Virginia Tech. And then the late game is the game to me. You heard me and Chris Gardner talk about it yesterday. That is the game to me that should be the NCAA women's finals, but it's not. That is South Carolina and Iowa. Boy, that's going to be a matchup. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to be surprised if either team wins. I said that. Everybody will be shocked. Oh, South Carolina lost. Hey, it's March Madness. We talked about it yesterday with Chris. You're one and done. Somebody catches you on a bad night and they are on fire. Yeah, they can send you on home. So again, it'll be very interesting tonight when Iowa and South Carolina meet in that final game of the Final Four tonight. Then heading back here, be here early tomorrow and get ready for tomorrow night when Florida Atlantic and San Diego State meet in the game one of the men's Final Four. And then game two will be Miami versus UConn. UConn, the senior member of the Final Four. They've been there before, been there, done that. So, and have actually won a championship. So we'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. But I'm excited, man, about this weekend. I'm excited about everything that is happening. And the city is lit. A lot of celebrities in town, a lot of big-time basketball people in town. It is a good thing. Good thing. So on top of that, last night was opening day in baseball for the Houston Astros, the defending World Series champs. And, man, didn't quite get over the hump last night. Framber Valdez, the new ace of the bullpen, the new ace of the team, pitched 5 scoreless innings, only gave up 4 hits, and turned it over to the bullpen, and that was a no, because the bullpen could not hold the tie game that they had at the time. So it's kind of interesting because the closer gave up 2 runs in the top of the ninth. Ryan Presley gave up 2 runs in the top of the ninth, and Yordan Alvarez came up in the bottom of the ninth, gave the Stros some hope, hit his first home run of the season, first home run for the team. They're down 3-2, but they couldn't push another run across to tie it up or a couple of runs across to win it. So Astros dropped their season opener. They'll be back at it later on tonight. Some other Major League Baseball scores from last night. Major League Baseball scores from last night. That Orioles Red Sox game was a good one. 10-9 final score in that. So a lot of runs scored for the fans in Boston. And then the Texas Rangers up in Arlington pulled out an 11-7 win over the Philadelphia Phillies. That's interesting that they played a National League, American League game for their season opener. Of course, we already talked about the Astros and the White Sox. The A's beat the Angels 2-1. Shohei Ohtani, a lot of eyes were on him in Oakland. Folks, they come out to see him, the pitcher and the hitter. New York Yankees opened up with a 5-0 blanking of the San Francisco Giants. The Braves beat Washington 7-2. The Cubbies got by Milwaukee 4-0. Keith Hennick, your Tampa Rays opened up with a win over Detroit Baseball. Chris Gardner, 4-0. Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati just abysmal already. Look, they lost one game out of 162, and I'm calling them abysmal already. 5-4. Pittsburgh got that win. Toronto Blue Jays beat the Cards 10-9. The New York Mets 5-3, and right before the game, they put Justin Verlander, who they acquired from the Houston Astros, on the short-term DL. So we'll see if that turns out to be a problem. But man, Verlander has proven that he can come back from injury and do well. So I'm not too concerned there. Mets fans might be a little anxious already. Rockies beat Padres 7-2. Seattle beat Cleveland 3-0, and the Dodgers, who for some reason folks are not as high on them as they were last season, 8-2. I think in the Vegas has them with the 5th best odds to win the World Series this year. So that means you got 5 other teams that are projected to win the World Series over the Dodgers, or 4 other teams over the Dodgers. I don't know. I know the Astros are up there. I know they are up there. Atlanta is up there. The Yankees are up there, and the Mets over the Dodgers. We'll see. It's very early. Game 1 out of 162 was played last night. So I'm on record of saying, boy, if baseball cut that thing in half, cut that thing to 80-something games, or even 100 games, but 162, that's a lot. I know they got to make their money. I understand. I get it. Don't at me. I understand. But I'm just saying, in this modern era, in this Gen Z era. And where do we go next? So we go to Gen Infinity. What's the next gen? If Gen Z was the last gen, what's the next gen? Gen Alpha? I don't know. But anyway, man, I don't know. Baseball is running itself. They know what they're doing, supposedly. Better be glad I ain't the one, because I would have tinkered with that thing. Man, I'd have all kinds of XFL-related rules in baseball to make it just exciting. I'd have a hype man on the mic. Coming to the mound right now, Mr. Yordan. Come on, say his name with me, Alvarez. Bang! He just went deep. Yeah, it'd be lit. The baseball purists would just poop their pants fooling with me. So anyway, let me take my first break. We'll be right back after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
Discouragement, sorrow, distance. Your arguments cause damage to your family. The hurt leads to divorce. You feel like there is nowhere else to turn. But there is hope for you. That's where we come into play. There is an overcomer that lives inside of you. One ready to take on the world as you leap for joy, living in victory. You'll grow to love yourself and others. There's life after divorce, and you can claim it today. Get Over Divorce, where your new story begins here every Thursday on YouTube and Spreaker. This is a BS3 Network presentation.
I want to show that attainability. I want to show the accessibility of this kind of lifestyle.
From social media to having conversations with friends and family, you always have to put on face and say face.
What brings a smile to my face is the one person that totally believes in me, and that's my beautiful wife, Jody.
I just had to stop because I didn't value myself. I didn't love myself. And it's like, I have to learn to love myself.
Changing the world one conversation at a time. This is Revelations.
When the list said that Sharifa Barksdale is on the verge, she's getting ready to set the world record. And I lost concentration and I followed that hurdle. I was devastated.
Posición Game Ball de Canadá, dominando la prueba, y la estadounidense Sharifa Barksdale está en...
When I fell over that hurdle, it ended my career. And then all of a sudden, my coach grabs me by the throat. And I was going through some paperwork and seeing that he had spent 10 years in prison. And I was just like floored. It turned to domestic violence. I was terrified. So if I left, I don't know if I was going to die. My family didn't know if they was going to get a phone call to say that Sharifa was dead.
Yeah, I said pretty. I said a vehicle took a shot at me. Southbound on East 95th.
Broke the U.S. record in the 400-meter hurdles. Represented the United States of America.
Imagine being on the biggest, fastest roller coaster that you have ever been on. That's the way my life was for 20 years.
I never had no trouble out of her being what she wanted to be. Because if this is what she wanted to be a runner, well, God bless her, and he did.
Coming soon, coming soon, coming soon. I'm enjoying this process too. I'm learning a whole lot about this business, this industry, production, and packaging the production and presenting the production and all that. So again, really excited about what's happening with the last hurdle. So y'all keep it in prayer. Keep it in prayer. All right, let's get back to this thing, man. Again, it's Freestyle Friday right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. If you've got a Roku streaming device, do yourself a favor and download BS3 TV. If you don't have a Roku streaming device, you know what you got to do. You got to get one. If you don't, can't, won't, then go to BS3network.com. That's BS3network.com. We're changing the way you watch TV. All right, back to it on this Freestyle Friday. I don't do a lot of these mock drafts. But one of them was kind of interesting. And I just kind of want to share the top of the mock draft, if you will. Let me give credit to the person who put it together. It is none other than Josh Edwards of CBS Sports. Josh Edwards has the Carolina Panthers taking C.J. Stroud of the Ohio State University with the first pick in the upcoming draft in April 27th through the 29th. Houston Texans then going Bryce Young out of Alabama. It's got Arizona taking Will Anderson, an edge rusher out of Alabama. And then it gets interesting. He's got Baltimore, not the Colts, Baltimore trading up and taking Anthony Richardson as their quarterback. I'm looking down to see if there's anything else. Jackson Smith and Jigba going to Green Bay with the 15th pick of the first round. That's kind of interesting. Still looking. He's got Baltimore taking Quentin Johnston out of TCU at pick number 22. Dallas Cowboys taking Bijan Robinson at 26 in the first round. And that's it. So he's literally got the Indianapolis Colts trading for Lamar Jackson and Baltimore taking Anthony Richardson as their next franchise quarterback. I find that interesting because, there is definitely something going on with the way the league is dealing with Lamar Jackson. He has a non-exclusive franchise tag on him, meaning any team can offer him a contract. Baltimore has the last rights of refusal. They can match it or they can let him walk. And he's got the Colts making a trade, sending Lamar Jackson to Indianapolis, and Baltimore taking Anthony Richardson out of Florida with that pick. Now, that's kind of interesting to me because, Anthony Richardson is legit. But, Baltimore seems to be bought out on Lamar. Again, I don't want to hear that he needs an agent. I don't want to hear that. Why do you have to have somebody else manage your money? I was talking with a guy last night, AD Moore, from the Ad Max corner. What's up, bro? And he was saying that, Lamar Jackson doesn't have the same cachet that Laramie Tunsil has and had when he negotiated 2 of his contracts by himself. Laramie Tunsil was, like him or not, and I know a lot of folks around here in Houston don't like him. Laramie Tunsil is one of the top 3 linemen in the league, period, point blank. No discussion, no argument. If you're going to argue that, you don't know the sport, you don't know the position. Laramie Tunsil is one of the top 3 linemen, left tackles in the league. So Laramie Tunsil has been able to negotiate 2 big-time contracts for himself. AD Moore said that Lamar Jackson doesn't have that cachet. He doesn't have that resume. Maybe true. But still, when he's comparing himself to the quarterback that has set the market, or excuse me, I can't say set the market because nobody else is following that pattern. But the quarterback that so far has gotten the best contract in the league is Deshaun Watson. Fully guaranteed, $200+ million contract. Lamar Jackson is, if anybody is going to get that, I should be one of those people. Now you got people then looking at his playoff record. Then you got people looking at his injury record. And that got to Lamar this past week because he responded to some people on Twitter and has, gone out there and said, I didn't see me sitting out in games 1 through 12. And what's wrong with a guy trying to stay healthy and give his team the best chance to win? I think that part is a very underrated part of his message. You know, you always hear somebody, oh, so brave. He's such a warrior. He's a tough guy because he goes out there and he plays injured. But I've always questioned that. It's one thing to go out there while you're recovering from an injury and give it a shot. It's another thing to go out there and play poorly and not give your team the best chance to win because you decided, or your team decided, or y'all decided to get out there and give it a shot. And, you know, clearly the injury is not allowing you to be great. So if Lamar knew that he could not do all the things that the team expected him to do from weeks 13 through 17, games 13 through 17, I don't understand how that part is now all of a sudden the biggest issue. You know, Arthur Blank, who I'm sorry, I have no respect for. None. I don't bother him. I don't bother him like I would bother Dan Snyder if I saw him in person. I don't bother him like some other owners that if I saw them in person, I'd bother them. I don't bother Arthur Blank, but you know, his comments about Lamar's availability and longevity. The man has missed 10 games over the last 2 seasons. 10. Okay. How's Baltimore using him? Is that how Lamar would prefer to play, or is that how Baltimore's chosen to use him? And folks are saying, well, his style of play. Is it his style of play or is it their style of play? Well, he can't throw, AJ. He's not an accurate passer. He's one of the least accurate passers. It's funny how he could throw that thing in college and won the Heisman Trophy because he could throw it and run it. And again, if y'all want to say that, you know, his legs are most important to him, well, he had an injury in his knee. So the legs weren't what they were supposed to be. And that's not Lamar's fault. I always go back to how Washington used RG3 when he was clearly not 100% on his knee. And you had Kyle Shanahan out there still calling bootleg runs and quarterback rollouts and all this other stuff that required him to use a clearly not 100 knee. And RG3 was never the same after that. Guess who has to protect themselves from that? Lamar Jackson. Because clearly the team isn't, and now they're holding it against him. And because he wants to be one of the guys that has a fully guaranteed contract, well, guess what? He wants to be. You can't be mad at him. You know how people always says it's a game when folks want to talk business, and it's business when they want to talk about the game? That's what's going on in Baltimore. But the rest of the league, quarterback-starved teams like Atlanta, like Carolina, like the Jets, who, you know, they made their bed, they're going to have to lie in it, baby. You get everything that comes with the quarterback that you are about to get. And I mean it. I don't want to hear nothing when you get it. But other teams, the Texans can do exactly what they're saying that the Colts are going to do. They could trade that number 2 pick and bring in a quarterback that has done it in the league. We don't know what Bryce Young's going to be in the league. We don't know what C.J. Stroud's going to be in the league. We don't know what Anthony Richardson is going to be in the league. And Will Levis, if you read the reports, he's dropping because of stuff. So, again, this is the part of the business that I don't like, where these owners can get together and say, no, we're not going to do that. We don't want fully guaranteed contracts with our quarterbacks. But interestingly enough, Deshaun Watson wasn't the first fully guaranteed quarterback contract. Kirk Cousins was. Again, you've got the two people who've had fully guaranteed quarterback contracts, Kirk Cousins and Deshaun Watson. Not Patrick Mahomes, not the quarterback up in Green Bay, not whoever else you think is the best, one of the best quarterbacks. What's going to be interesting to me is Justin Herbert's contract that's, being negotiated, and Joe Burrow's contract. If Baltimore doesn't want to set the market with another fully guaranteed contract, then let's see what they do after we see the Joe Burrow contract. And Joe Burrow and the team have agreed that they will not discuss the contract negotiations outside of their discussions. So they're not going to talk to the media. They're not going to post anything. They're not going to tweet anything. We'll see how long that ceasefire is what I'll call it, how long that lasts. But I'm not mad at Lamar for wanting it. I'm not mad at Baltimore for not wanting to give it. What I'm disappointed at is not only does it seem like they don't want to give it, it seems like they're ready to give up on him. And that, to me, is wrong. Not only are they apparently willing to give up on him, 30 other owners appear to be ready to do the same. If Indianapolis makes that trade, good for them. Good for them. To me, they instantly become the best team in the AFC South. I know to many that doesn't mean much, but that's playoffs. That's, a chance to, go all the way. It won't be Tennessee. Looks like they're trying to bring Ryan Tannehill back or go Malik Willis. It's not going to be them. It's definitely not going to be Jacksonville. They're not there yet. Close. Believe it or not, I haven't given out my AFC South or AFC anything power rankings, but Jacksonville's going to be higher than they've been in the past. Texans are fun and exciting, but they're not quite there yet. So we'll see. All right, listen, I got to get ready to go. Sorry for the long diatribe, soliloquy, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to tell you, though, be safe out there. There's a lot of craziness going to be going on, in my opinion, this weekend as a result of some things that have happened in the news recently. Be careful. Watch your surroundings. Man, there are going to be some folks that's going to try and make a point and make a statement because of some things that have happened in our society, in our country. I'm not going to get into the rights and the wrongs of it. All I will say is this: be careful. Be careful. You think what you think, you believe what you believe, but don't hurt anybody else to try to prove your point in what should be and what shouldn't be. My sincere feelings and emotions and sincere prayers are still with those young people and families up in Nashville, Tennessee. Man, if I can go the rest of my life without seeing another one of those, and I've actually been in schools a lot, every day for the last 2 months. And when I say every day, Monday through Friday, for the last 2 months. And it felt funny being in schools this past week, seeing young people walking by themselves to the bathroom, walking by themselves to the front office, walking by themselves to the cafeteria, to just kind of look around the school and see classrooms that, there's nothing to block the windows or the doors, where somebody with bad intent could look in and say, oh, okay, there's a full classroom. Let me go in here. It shouldn't be that, man. It shouldn't be that. Don't come at me with your Second Amendment rights. You can have Second Amendment rights and still be sensible about how you exercise it, how you adjust them. Man, I am one of the proudest Second Amendment carriers in this country. But God, man, if you walk through those schools and see those young people, see those teachers, see those administrators, the office of the school that I was in this past week, man, as soon as you come in the door, as soon as they buzz you in, that office is wide open. It's wide open. There are no security locks on it. There's no, oh, but they need to upgrade. Man, not everybody has the money to do that. And why should they do that when other things can be done in addition to that? I'm done. Have a great weekend. Y'all be safe. Let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you, and there is nothing you can do about it. So tune in on Monday for Johnny Cole's HBCU Stroll.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. We made it. It's Friday, March 31st, 2023. Number 1. For the very first time in this country's history, an ex-president of the United States has been indicted. A Manhattan, New York grand jury charged Donald Trump with making payments before the 2016 presidential elections in order to buy the silence of a woman with whom he is alleged to have had an affair outside of his marriage. The 76-year-old former president has denied any wrongdoing and has attacked District Attorney Alvin Bragg's investigation. He's expected to surrender to authorities next week. Number 2. Vice President Kamala Harris has visited Cape Coast Castle in Ghana. The vice president's week-long visit was part of the Biden administration's latest outreach efforts to deepen and reframe U.S. relationships in Africa to counter China's growing influence. The vice president and second gentleman, her husband, Doug Emhoff, visit Ghana, Tanzania, and Zambia, focusing on economic development, climate change, food security, and a rising youth population. Number 3. A federal judge in Texas previously ruled to dismantle the Affordable Care Act, struck down a narrower but key part of the nation's health law Thursday. U.S. District Judge Reed O'Connor, the latest ruling, blocked the requirement that most insurers cover some preventive care, such as cancer screenings, siding with plaintiffs who oppose mandatory coverage for contraception and an HIV prevention treatment on religious grounds. The Biden administration told the court the outcome of the case could create extraordinary upheaval in the United States public health system. It's very likely they will appeal. Number 4. Monday afternoon, the Nashville Police Department identified the shooter of 3 children and 3 adult members of the school staff as 28-year-old Audrey Hale. U.S. Representative and conspiracy theorist Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted that Antifa was organizing a Trans Day of Vengeance. Greene's tweet was later removed for violating Twitter's rules. The Trans Day of Vengeance event, about which Greene shared information, is a spin on Trans Day of Visibility, which takes place Friday, March 31st. It happens every year. It's being planned by the Trans Radical Activist Network, a new trans-led nationwide activist movement. Number 5. Delmar Johnson and Shayna Atkins are the African-American owners of Expand HR, who are on the mission to help business owners to manage their hiring process and stay compliant. Expand HR gives entrepreneurs the tools to create a smooth onboarding process for their new employees and contractors. It also offers a budget-friendly payroll management system. Expand HR can be a useful tool for just about any business owner, but the founders are seeking out Black women entrepreneurs to help them build wealth. Hey, look over here. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Life is a series of choices. Choose to embrace change today. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partner, the American Heart.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.